How big should I build my quail pen? How tall should it be? How long should it be? What's easily accessible for me? Well, if you stay tuned to this video, I'm going to explain to you some easy ways that I do it that just change the whole game for all of us. And hopefully it helps you guys out. And if you have your own way of building pens, I'm sure you do. Everybody has tons of different ways that they do things. This video may not be for you. This is for somebody just getting into quail that's really wanting to know, Maniac, what should I do? How should I do it? And I need somebody just to explain it real quick if they could, just to give me some sort of idea. Well, that's what this video is for. Let's get into it. There's a ton of people out there with different specs, different diagrams, different builds, all kind of ways to build a pen, y'all. There's a ton of different ways you can build a pen. I'm not saying that. I'm just going to give you a very simple way that we build pens. I learned it quite a few years back, probably 4 years ago whenever I learned it. And I just wanted to share that with people just so they can hear. I have had videos on this before, but I figured we could come back and, you know, just talk about it and refresh some people that maybe would like to know a little bit more, or the people who have never heard of this, who are just now watching. I'm going to get into how easy it can be for you to make a quail pen and what would make it better. The first thing that you need to figure out is, are you going to use staples or screws? Now, if it's up to me, I'm going to use screws with big flat heads on them, because I've learned over the years as quail, like in the bottoms especially, quail, once you start getting a lot, they can beat that wire down because they're constantly moving, constantly running, constantly jumping, and it just works those staples out. But if you love staples, hey, you're not doing nothing wrong. One of my pens is almost completely staples, except for the screws that I'm using now to go back and repair it. So don't think you've done anything wrong. Hey, you're learning. This is new to you just as it was to me. Now, first things first, you need to see how tall you are. Well, I'm 6'4". So every pen I build, I can make 5 foot tall if I want, real easy. Some pens are higher than the others. Yeah, it's really just as you build it up, you can walk up to your pen, however tall you are. You want it to be chest high. And the reason I say that is because when you're stooping down all day, you don't want to do that. You want it to start right at your chest so that when you open the door, you can reach right in. It's just it's right there below your eyes, but sort of eye level. You'll be looking midway into the pen usually. Now, you're going to hear a lot of people say that to make them 10 inches high, make them no higher than 8 inches or 9 inches. And those pens work out great. I'm not knocking none of that. Now, I have a lot of quail usually on hand, so therefore I need bigger waterers. So I measured a waterer, and I found that the 9 and 10 inch tall pens wasn't enough, y'all. It wasn't good enough, because you'd have to tilt your water, spill some of your water out, and I just didn't want to fool with that. I have learned out of this build right here behind me, that pen is actually 14 inches tall. I can take one of those big gallon waters and slide it straight in without spilling a drop of water. I can slide it straight out. And I've also learned that it's more accessible for adding what I call blackout boxes. Quail like to get into a box, like just a square box with a hole in it. You can use cardboard. Over time, they will tear up that cardboard, but who cares? It didn't cost you a thing. I mean, how many people out there are getting Amazon packages like crazy? They'll be gladly to give you an Amazon box. I still use Amazon boxes. Just cut a hole in them and you're good to go. And they like going in there. They like to stay hidden. They don't like for anybody to really see them. That's why they're so skittish and jumpy. Now, these quail Microturnics, they're not nowhere near as jumpy as the Bob Whites are. Bob Whites are terrible, but they still like to have a blackout box they can get in, and just a little privacy for them. It really helps their moods, especially their temperament. Everything calms down so good whenever they have a blackout box, or some people call it a hideaway box. Also, you can put a bigger sandbox in there and make the entryway higher. You can cut a hole in that box, and those birds can just jump in there. And when they start kicking sand, you're not losing all your sand. And then you can just find you a little piece of screen or a grill plate or something like that, and you can pick it all up. Now, I know this was a ramble and it's not about the actual pen build itself, but I'm just trying to let y'all know why I chose 14 inches. I build my pens 14 inches tall, mainly for the waters, mainly. And so I can put a big kick box. I call a sandbox a kick box because they're going to kick all the sand out. But What I do is you figure out how much space do you have? Is it 3 feet? Is it 4 feet? Is it 8 feet? Can you build it long as you want like I can? Yes. Once you figure out how long you want it, now this is my opinion. Nobody, this isn't set in stone, but I would not go further than 25 inches. Now, like I said before, I'm 6'4". So when I reach in a pin, I can reach the back. But if I make it over 25 inches, you're going to be really reaching in and the wire is going to nick you probably. It's going to tear your clothing. You're probably going to get poop on you or something like that. So you have to think of these things before you build it. But I don't go over 25 inches deep because when I reach in to get that quail, I want to make sure I can grab that quail. I don't use nets. I use my hand because if you're trying to use those little nets, y'all, your birds will go nuts. And when they see that net, they're going to remember that net and they're just going to go crazy. If you've ever chased chickens, you'll know what I'm talking about. Turkeys, ducks, once they see that net, it's curtains for you, brother. They're out of there, or sister. But so figure out how long you want it. And then however tall you are, I would make it about chest height. That way you're looking in the pen the minute the door's open. Because when you open those doors, for some quail stay that way, but for the first couple of weeks you have your birds, they're going to try and fly out. They're going to go nuts. And the more you can see, the better off you'll be. I mean, I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it does. But the more you can see, the better off you're going to be. I promise you. Because as they start to fly, you can catch them with your hand. You can swat them back in. I mean, you can do numerous things. But 14 inches tall, 25 inches deep, I promise you, you're going to be very happy with that, especially your wives and your kids, because they can reach the back as well. And I had to take a lot of consideration into my builds because I was an over-the-road trucker for all these years. So therefore, I couldn't make it for me because then they would have trouble reaching in, getting them, catching them, and all that. So that's why I do it. Figure out your height. Make sure the bottom of the pen is chest level. Make sure it ain't no more than 14 inches high. I probably wouldn't go over 14 because a quail will jump whenever it's scared and it'll slam it. Y'all, it sounds like you're hitting with a ball peen hammer. That's how hard they can slam into these roots. I mean, at nighttime, it'll freak you out. But yes, you want to make sure when you build your pen that you're not reaching up or stooping down. You can't reach the back and all that. So figure out your height, put it chest high, go 14 inches from there, no deeper than 25 inches, make it long as you want. I mean, whatever you can afford, make it long as you want. So that's the simplest thing. I have used just 2x2 lumber. I actually have two that are built out of 2x2s. This is one of them. This one was built with 2x4s, but you can split a 2x4 and get your 2x2s right there. So I mean, it really doesn't matter. Like I tell people, you can use scrap lumber. If it stands up and you have it secured, which I use T-post, and then I use a really strong strap, or I may use wire. There's all kind of things. And I offset the post, front left, back right. That way, if the wind's blowing, it can't twist it and flip it over. I do recommend that you do tie them down. You do stake them, whatever you need to do. You can bury them in the ground, but you may have to bury them pretty deep sometimes because we have high winds here. So therefore I'm able to drive the T-post in the ground. And then my pins actually just sat on top of the ground. The only one in the ground is this one. And I can't remember why I did it. Maybe I was out of T-post or whatever. Your money gets tight sometimes. But now that I'm home, and by the way, we're going to celebrate 8 months. Maniac has been off the road now for 8 months. I have an awesome local job. I work for wonderful people. And I love it. I have a blast. I've actually lost a ton of weight because of this job. And I'm learning new skills that I never did. I was always a flatbedder, and now I'm a lowboy. I go and move heavy equipment for a construction company here in Huntsville, Alabama. And man, it's awesome. I love it. And that's off track, but y'all, I'm so thankful for the job that I have. And I appreciate everybody that I work with and everybody that trained me. You couldn't ask for a better company. So as far as your quail builds, once you've got your length, your height, no deeper than 25, no taller than 14, all that preference is totally up to you. You choose what you want to do. This is just Maniac trying to help you out. We're family here. We're a community, and we're here to help people. We're not here to make fun of people. Sure, there's going to be people that criticize you. Sure, there's going to be people that say this and say that. But, especially doing what I do, you're going to need some thick skin because, you got people from all over the world saying crap to you whenever some people just have to worry about people at home or at work, you know. But your roofing shouldn't even, I mean, that's pretty much a simple answer. I will say this: we actually have taken our feed bags and laid them like shingles and put them on our roof. Y'all, it works. Feed bags work for quite a while, and if you're buying a lot of those plastic feed bags, I mean, you can just keep replacing them, keep replacing if you want. I prefer tin. I do use the very cheap tin on some builds. Like this is the most cheapest tin you can get. And y'all, it's lasted so good. It still looks brand new. I've used the expensive tin. It really doesn't matter. If you have plastic laying around somewhere that's long enough, use that. I mean, you can get in this as cheap as you possibly want to. And I wanted these measurements so that people would realize you don't have to have these huge hutches and these elaborate pens are just crazy expensive. You can build however, whatever your budget can afford. You do you, boo-boo, I guess is what I can tell you. I just wanted to get on here and help y'all because we're all about balling on a budget here. I'm trying to think of anything else I could tell you that would help you, but I mean, everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. Whatever scrap lumber I have left over, I do put in my doors. I'll use them for the doors. If you're using 2x2s for the entire build, like this pen is completely built out of 2x2s and then covered with tin, you're gonna have so much scrap left over, you're gonna build it, and then you're gonna have enough for the doors, and y'all, it's like butter after that. It is smooth, I'm telling you. Some of my Quail pens are open, like this one right here. It's open. But this one actually has a closed bottom. Now, the open pens are easy to get skid steer under, a tractor bucket under. That's also why I make them high enough I can borrow my neighbor's tractor and scoop up under the ones that don't have it. Now, the other beds, the other pens for the Quail that I have is they have fronts and sides. They form a box. Now, those is mainly where I'm going to get my worms and my fertilizer, my compost that I make. That's mainly why I put that on there. I wouldn't recommend building the box because it will make your wood rot faster, but I do take a shovel and shovel all this out and start over from way below the pen. And then as it builds up, I shovel it back out. It just gives me a whole lot of mass at one time whenever I'm shoveling it out, because if your pen is open, Mother Nature's just going to spread it for you and do all that. So I don't collect as much quail poop as what I should actually. But for anybody out there, if you don't like to go from pen to pen to pen and you want to catch and collect as much poop as you possibly can, I would recommend you use a closed bottom just like this is squared off and not an open bottom, because you can't see it, but this is pretty flat. The wind, the animals, the ducks get in there and scrape around, the chickens get in there and scrape around. But this closed off rectangle here, they can't get it over the board, so it really helps out. And I hope that right there helps you out a lot. And y'all, like I say, I'm no genius. I'm not a professional by no means. I'm not the Dowdy Mustafa of Quail pens or anything like that. I just wanted y'all to know that there are simple ways. This is the simple build I use. You can use any lumber you want to use. All you got to figure out, screws or staples, what type of lumber are you going to use, and how much wire are you going to use. I just gave you 14 inches up, and however long you make it. Then you can just multiply that and you'll know exactly how much wire you're going to need. And if you close off the backs of half of the pen, which you probably want to do, especially come wintertime, well, you won't even need the wire on the backside. Really, if you're going to leave one closed off all the time, you can use what you cut off for your roof to go on the back. And that's what I do. I buy one piece of tin. It's normally 12 feet, and then that leaves me, I'll do 8-foot pins. I don't go over 8 feet, but I want to. I probably will. But what's left over, I'm able to put end caps on the backs of my pins, and it's able to block the wind. It's able to give them privacy. It makes it dark over there. I hope this video wasn't too shabby for y'all. I hope you enjoyed everything about it. If you've watched this far, please click like and subscribe. I sure would appreciate it. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as fast as we can. If not, over 1,000, that would be great. So if you did like it, please throw a comment what you like. Tell me what you didn't like. And, hey, if you got a question in there, shout it out to me. Tell me where you're from. Let's chop it up, y'all. Till next time, I am your boy Maniac. We out.